was having a lot of trouble coming up with videos for this week, and I realized the problem was that after 2 solid months of watching the clusterfuck that is the United States response to COVID-19, my brain was just full of these unconnected rage thoughts about a variety of things that are going on. And I know that my rage is not unique. I try to only make videos that I think offer my own particular take on a particular topic that you maybe haven't heard 100 times before. But there are tons of way smarter people that have already pointed out all the things that I'm mad about. But still, I just couldn't move on. I was getting some serious writer's block because I can't talk about other stuff until I get these things out of my system. And I apologize, but I don't even think I can say these things in a particularly intelligent or clever way. Like, I legit sat down and started writing a script that started with, as Trinculo says in The Tempest, misery acquaints a man with strange bedfellows, which is why we're suddenly seeing conservatives displaying very liberal tendencies. And I read it back and I was just like, no, shut up, Rebecca. Shut up. No one cares what anybody from The Tempest says right now. So fuck it. Here are a few things that I just need to get off my chest, said in probably the dumbest way possible. I'm sorry. Here we go, though. Thing 1. Suddenly conservatives care about bodily autonomy. That's nice. Fuck those fucking hypocritical pieces of shit. The government, they argue, has no right to tell them what to do with their bodies, even if their choice of what to do with their bodies in public leads to the literal death of another human being, or the death of 253,000 human beings as of this recording, 70,000 of whom live in the United States. Which is funny, because up until now, these same people have vehemently argued for the outlawing of abortion. In fact, they're still doing it. Texas Governor Greg Abbott has used COVID-19 as an excuse to shut down abortion access in the state. At the same time, he's insisting on reopening businesses without requiring masks while a pandemic is still in full swing. Which is absolutely going to kill more people. More people are going to die because of that. What they're saying is that a clump of cells usurps my bodily autonomy, but their bodily autonomy is more important than a living, breathing adult person's life. I should be forced to use my body as an incubator for 9 fucking months, risking diabetes, preeclampsia, high blood pressure, and death, just to turn a fucking egg into a living human being. But you should not be forced to tie a piece of fabric around your stupid fucking face when you go to the grocery store to save literally tens of thousands of existing human lives. Got it. Great. Perfect sense. Love it. God bless America. Okay, thing number 2. We will never get the Loudmouths to admit that they're wrong. Never. And it's so obvious they're wrong. They just keep moving the goalposts, broadcasting from the safety of their basements about how social distancing doesn't work, when we now have overwhelming data that shows otherwise. We know for a fact that literally 70,000 Americans are now dead. It's probably more by the time I edit and post this, because of this pandemic and because of the irresponsible shits on Fox News and in our government. And they're still arguing. They're still arguing that we can just reopen businesses and everything's going to be just fine. And the most frustrating thing is that people will die and they still won't admit they're wrong. I remember at the beginning of all of this thinking that the most annoying thing that was going to happen was that the experts would institute mass testing and quarantining, deaths would be limited, and conservatives would point to the low death count and argue that we overreacted because not that many people died. That's what happens when you do the right thing in a pandemic. I was wrong. It is far more frustrating to see tens of thousands of people needlessly dying and still seeing conservatives say that we're overreacting. This is the bad place. All right, thing number 3, this one's going to be a little controversial, but fuck it. Stop getting angry at people you think aren't doing the right thing during the pandemic. I'm not talking about the idiots protesting quarantine or the spring breakers ignoring authorities and making out with each other because YOLO. Absolutely get annoyed with them all you want. I'm talking about individuals, like the guy I saw the other day while I was walking my dog. He was walking his dog too, but he was standing in the middle of the sidewalk talking on his phone with no mask on, and he didn't bother to move as we approached. So I had to take my dog into the street where there luckily were no cars to avoid him. I was so annoyed, and my instinct was to say something nasty to him. But then I thought, well, why? Why yell at him? I don't know this guy's life. You don't have to wear a mask to take your dog out for a quick wee. And maybe he just got a phone call he wasn't expecting saying that he'd lost his job or that his mom was in the hospital. So he was too distracted to see us approaching. It doesn't matter. We were able to avoid him, get on with our day. It's not a big deal. And the only thing about me getting annoyed would have been to place more stress on me. Yelling at him isn't going to work if he already saw me walking in the street to avoid him and didn't feel bad about that. Like, I'm sure he did feel bad about that. And yelling at him would have just pissed him off and made him defensive. It's pointless. And yet I see people literally like almost coming to blows over you're standing in the wrong spot. You're, purposely trying to infect. No, like for the most part, everybody's just trying to survive. This is a stupid, stupid time. And aside from the Fox News crowd, I should say, we're all just trying to get through it in one piece. That runner you see who isn't wearing a mask, maybe he's avoiding getting near anybody. Maybe running in a mask makes it really hard to breathe. Maybe if he can't run, then he feels like he wants to kill himself in isolation. Or like that group of guys you see hanging out at the park, maybe they're all roommates that already quarantined together. Maybe they just want some fresh air and are avoiding anyone from outside their home. Those crowds you saw in a photo on the beach, maybe that photo was taken with a telephoto lens, which condenses space and makes people and objects look closer together than they are. Maybe those people actually were adhering to the 6-foot rule. I'm just saying, unless you're a government official or law enforcement officer, it might be helpful for you to just calm the fuck down about what other people are doing. Ultimately, you can't control them. You can only control your own behavior and your reaction to others. And yes, I get that I'm trying to control your behavior right now by telling you that you can't control other people's behavior. I get it. I'm a hypocrite. Whatever. That's it. Thank you for letting me get that off my chest so that the next video it'll be about something unrelated to any of that. Hopefully.